It is truly my pleasure to rise today to speak to private member motion 508, tourism-based economies. This motion reads, be it resolved that the Legislative Assembly, A, recognize the importance of tourism on Alberta's economy and the need to balance visitor experiences and resident affordability, and B, urge the government to work with municipalities in Alberta's Rocky Mountains with tourism-based economies to establish funding and support programs that ensure municipal taxpayers do not bear the financial responsibility for the additional infrastructure requirements and operational demands on those municipalities due to tourism. I want to provide a brief overview of why we're here, why we're debating this motion, and how it came to be. Tourism is an amazing opportunity for mid-sized cities, small towns, and rural landscapes to truly boost their economy. The provincial tourism strategy talks about increasing tourism spending to $25 billion by 2035, which is a very lofty goal. It will take strategic moves to get us there. The tourism strategy labels Banff, Canmore, and Jasper as legacy destinations. Well, what does this mean? These places are legacy destinations because this is really where tourism in Alberta, or even Canada, began. Banff National Park, as the first national park in the country, is really the birthplace of tourism in Western Canada. It is even arguably the first really profitable industry in Alberta. Alberta's oldest industry began with the designation of these national parks, and so the history of tourism is incredibly strong in both Banff and Jasper. And Canmore, in its proximity, also really receives a lot of benefits from a growing tourism economy. These three communities continue to be significant economic drivers, not only for the tourism sector in Alberta, but for the province on a whole. These three communities contribute over $200 million in provincial taxes each year and generate over $2.2 billion for provincial GDP annually. This is no small economic contribution to Alberta. These three communities also host the highest visitation in Alberta. Canmore received over 5 million visitors in 2021, Banff 4.13 million visitors in 2022-23, and Jasper 2.42 million in 2022-23. Yet these three communities have 0.68% of the Alberta population and host 13% of all visitors to Alberta. It is this disproportionate number of visitors to residents and the cost of tourism-based infrastructure that we're here discussing this motion today. It is difficult for a rural tax base to provide infrastructure to host millions of people without seeing recognition or support from the province. These three communities and other tourism destinations arguably need financial support from the province in recognition of the billions of dollars provided to the provincial GDP. I'd like to take a moment to share some of the honor and cost of tourism. Before I became an MLA, I was honored to be part of the Mayor's Tourism Task Force for the town of Canmore, which is a multi-stakeholder group that came together to discuss how Canmore could move forward with a significant tourism economy, basically, in town. These are not easy conversations to have, but they are very important ones. There is an incredible honor that comes with being in a community that is in or very close to Canada's national Rocky Mountain National Parks, and also Canmore, of course, is right next to Kananaskis, our premier provincial parks. It is an honor to live in these places. It is an honor to be in one of Canada's most photographed and loved landscapes. If you Google Canada tourism, you will find pictures of my hometown and of Jasper and of Banff. And there are many benefits to these three communities by living and being in these places. We have great, thriving local economies, incredible, creative local businesses, incredible innovation in a small town where people literally carve out their own niche and find ways to do the things that they love. There are lots of things to do, places to eat, and events to enjoy, and all of that comes with being one of Canada's most premier tourism destinations. However, that tourism comes at a cost to the local community. Municipalities invest money into tourism infrastructure like parking lots, public toilets, multi-use trail networks, and that takes away from other municipal budgetary infrastructure needs like water treatment, affordable housing provision, local community affordability programs. These municipalities have also experienced reduced budgets with the new LGFF funding model, but tourism continues to increase. This decreased funding to municipalities literally translates to increased property taxes as residents are asked to pay more to welcome the world while the provincial bank account continues to grow. All of these communities have increased municipal taxes to address the needs of tourism. I also want to share some of the legislative options. Obviously, Alberta is not the first province to try to figure out how to create balance and equity in this. In 2023, the former MLA for Banff-Kananaskis, can I say her name? Miranda Rosen, introduced Bill 208, the Municipal Government Tourism Community Designation Amendment Act. And this current motion builds on this effort from our previous MLA from the UCP government. Unfortunately, this bill didn't have a chance to reach debate because the session ended, but I think it's worth resuming that discussion now. This bill had two parts. First, to define designated tourism communities with a set of criteria that communities could measure themselves against, and then a destination development committee that would evaluate requests from communities. And this is the important part. This bill linked that designation for these designated communities to apply for financial support in respect to building, maintaining, improving infrastructure to increase tourism capacity and/or develop and enhance the character of the tourism community or facilitate destination marketing. So there is clearly an interest on both sides of the aisle in legislation and policy to help support these legacy destinations in doing the great things that they do. Oftentimes in Alberta tourism, we compare ourselves to BC. They're our neighbor. We offer similar, but I would argue actually very different products. But we talk about leakage to British Columbia, which is basically people passing through Alberta to get to BC. Well, one of the key differences is that BC has very intentionally created legislation and policy to support tourism in ways that Alberta has not. The government of BC will distribute $1 billion to be split among 188 municipalities and regional districts to support tourism infrastructure and increasing tourism capacity in regional and rural communities. The resort municipality of Whistler is accompanied by legislation that recognizes the role Whistler plays in a provincial economy and supports that to grow. In 2023, the regional municipality of Whistler expects to receive $5.7 million in provincial funding under legislation. This is huge. I can guarantee you that Canmore and Banff and Jasper are not receiving $6 million from the province to help address the dire need for tourism-based infrastructure. This motion is the first step in supporting these communities meaningfully to continue to offer the incredible high-quality visitor experiences that they do offer, and for them to continue to contribute to the provincial economy in the way that they do. This motion also gets us one step closer to our overall goals of increasing our tourism spend by 2035. One of the things that I really have come to appreciate working in and around tourism is really that adage of you have to spend money to make money. We need to invest in these legacy destinations so they can continue to draw people in. And that investment needs to create high quality visitor experiences so that people will go and tell all of their friends and family to come to Alberta. This motion supports our legacy destinations, which are the foundation of our tourism sector in Alberta. It is a motion that I believe all members in this House should support because it helps our Alberta economy grow. It supports people living in some of the most expensive communities in Alberta by contributing to hopefully reduced property taxes. And it's just a really great way to celebrate and acknowledge the incredible hard work that all of the people in Banff, Canmore, and Jasper continue to do every day to make sure that Alberta is that international tourism destination of high repute. Thank you.